kind of cool tricks, tactics, or strategies that you like?
Got it. Okay, so two things. Most people in our space, they always want to go steal other influencers' audiences, right? So let's go target Billy Jean's channel. Let's go do this and that. I think that you're looking at it wrong, because Billy can attract all types of people. People who just love and entertained by him. I think you have to think differently. That's why I'm saying, like, who has your customers, right? Like, who are the companies, the tools, the resources, the products that they already are buying? And I would start them. And the way my mentor taught me was understand the difference between buying and shopping keywords. So a shopping keyword, for example, would be like, if let's say I was selling a Facebook ad course, then I might want to go, let's just say on YouTube, and type in, I'm going to target everybody that's searching Facebook ads. Yeah, you're going to get some people that are looking at videos on Facebook, but I would be different. Like, I'd go to like the different tools that I know people that are using that are running Facebook ads. So for example, some of the tools that track the clicks, some of the like a tool that's making sure that my data is correct when I'm generating leads. Some of the tools that only an advertiser that's running traffic would be using, and I would target those audiences. It'd be like, for example, like an SEM Rush, or one of the like actual marketing tool companies, even like going as deep to like autoresponder resources from an Active Campaign or a Morrow Post or whatever you're using, because I know that people that are running ads that are generating leads, typically they're using. So I start there. Where are my customers? What are they using? And then I really focus in on the messaging.
So Vince, let me ask you this. You just said a key word in there, which was one of my mentors. Earlier, you also brought up one of your mentors. And this is something that we share, is we're always investing into learning. I remember we had a conversation, but I think it'd be fun to open up to the audience. I remember when I first got into the game, I hated the idea of coaching. I honestly thought that I could, fuck it, I'm gonna just find shit online, like, let me get the free stuff, da-da-da-da-da. And I could find things to a degree, but I had zero explosive growth until I paid for coaching. And I was the most skeptical guy. And y'all know how I am. Like, imagine me with just arrogance of thinking I knew everything. It's disgusting. And so for you, what was the first major like coaching thing that you invested in? How did you feel when you make it? What was the amount and how did it impact you?
I mean, we don't have that much time, but long story short, I mean, I spent my last dollar on my first mentor. I came into the industry back in 2007 during the recession. I was in real estate. I lost everything. And I went online and there was an ad that said, make money on Google. And for whatever reason, when I was searching for, like, I clicked on the ad and then I started to kind of see what was going on. It led me to searching for other like similar companies. And it was like a direct sales ad. And then I saw people running ads for different companies. And there was one guy that no matter what company I searched for, their ads kept coming up. And I'm like, that's the secret. Like, if I could just learn how to do that, there's got to be people like me that got crushed by the recession, out here searching for ways to make money on the internet. How can I figure out that? So for me, that raised my level of certainty. I didn't even care what he was going to charge me. So I called him and he was trying to sell me his business opportunity. He was just running an ad. I'm like, dude, I don't, whatever, I'll buy whatever you're selling. I don't care about that. Just show me how you're running those ads. So then I bought that. He basically said, you go to Google, pick a keyword, you bid on it, and you make money. That didn't work. I put $1,000 in Google, lost that money, called him back. I said, hey man, I got some clicks. I lost $1,000. Now I'm out $2,000 is what it was cost to get into his little thing. He's like, well, call this guy. He has a little program. He had some more training on it. And then that became my actual mentor to this day that I learned everything about marketing. And that led to me just investing. I mean, most of my mentors that I have today, I just hit them up and was like, how much? Like literally, like the question was how much? And then they were like, for what? I'm like, for one day. Because I want to get the information fast. I understand speed of implementation. Yep. Most people play the game too slow, especially today. So if you have a chance to work with Billy, I mean, I know he's my boy and all, like, and I would not say this. You'd be foolish not to, just because the man, not only you've seen his growth and he actually does what he's teaching you. Like a lot of the people, trust me, I know a lot of marketers that and Billy knows that everybody is like, oh, thinks that they're the marketer, but there's guys like myself running the ads behind the scenes. Like Billy's hands-on, understands the platform on a deep level, and has a variety of skill sets, not just in direct response, but like has actually, helped physical businesses grow. So if you've got a chance to work with them, like you'd be foolish to try to go out there and do it on your own.
I appreciate the kind words. Last question, because you and I also share that same bond of what you were just saying is, We're in the trenches. We understand this advertising game. We understand this marketing game. What I see a lot of people do, and I think it comes from a place of fear, not wanting to face accountability, and just offloading to someone else, but they always try and hire out their marketing when it's the number one thing in their business that they need. Like, can you share some insight on like the benefits of learning the shit yourself as opposed to just trying to throw money at it, and not even a lot of money, but trying to throw a couple $1,000 and expecting them to solve your biggest problem in your business?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand what they're doing, then you're going to fall victim to all the BS that they'll try to feed you when it's not going right or wrong.
Mm.
So it's just like anything. Like if you don't know what's happening, then you're forced to believe whatever they're saying. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be on the level of which you're not in the beginning. Anything you do, you're not going to be on a Billy's level in the beginning. But it's better to be in the beginning and know a little bit about it before you go, trying to figure or go hire someone that you don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. So I'm so grateful that I was able to, learn this skill set because, for me, I saw it right away. I was like, I will never, ever be in the situation I was in 2007 when I lost everything. Banks stopped lending. It didn't matter how good of a lender my company was. It didn't matter how great my loan officers were. I couldn't lend. The bank said no. But with marketing, trust me, recession, pandemic, didn't matter. Needed customers, and I was there ready to scoop and score. So make it happen, guys.
All right, so Vince, let's do this while we wait for Kent. Vince friends with Kent too. While we wait for Kent, we got some more time. Are you cool? Both of us open up a Q&A real quick, answer some shop, talk some shop. You good? Let me know if you're in a rush. You good?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Vince is nice, right? He'll text me after, like, motherfucker, I said. So go ahead. If you guys have questions, type them in the chat right now, and we'll dive into it. Okay, we'll dive into it. And again, think bigger picture. You have something that's extremely niche. Like, how do you feel about an SEO optimized website? Like, there's no. Actually, wait, Kent's there? Okay, hold on. Well, then we'll at least one question because I said we would, right? Melody asked, "Oh, how do you feel about advertising on TikTok? What are your thoughts on TikTok?"
It's something that we just literally started to get into. We actually had a meeting about it like a few days ago because we're doing software, so we're trying to integrate with TikTok. So I had to get in there and test it first, and it looks good. I mean, I look at all social for me personally as more of a remarketing play, more than a cold traffic play. But I think you should be there. I think you should use it. I think anywhere you can be in front of your customers, I think you should be there. I think that's how you should look at marketing.
Yeah, and then one thing I'll give you guys a heads up coming up, and we'll ping you guys about it. Vince and I are going to do a joint training later on this month, and actually showing you guys some new software that Vince created. That is insane. That's going to be a complete game changer. I wanted to talk about it the whole time, but I'm trying to like, okay, let me just be patient. But my guy over here is building something that's going to be crazy. It's going to be $1 billion company, and we'll give you guys a look into that. So round of applause for Vince Reed, y'all. Vince Reed, let's get it. Let him see you. Let him see you. Again, another guy who didn't have to be here, but chose to be here with us today. He did not have to be here, okay? So last person coming up today is...
Appreciate you, brother. I'm out.
Love you, man.
All right, take care.
Yeah. Is a guy that I met, gosh damn, I don't even know how we met, a couple of years ago, maybe at his event or something, somewhere mutual friends in the industry. But when I was living in La Jolla on the beach, he's got a place down the street. So we got really close, just hanging out, etc. So one, I'll call him a friend. Two, I'll call him a mentor. And three, he's probably the closest person to me that I know that's ran a multi-billion-dollar company. So that's pretty gangster. His team is great. His family's great. Shout out to Seema. And just a guy who really knows his stuff, not just about scaling businesses and operations and organizations, but also real estate. I mean, this, knows everything about real estate, has trained a bunch of people, taught, etc. And we're just very, very lucky to have him. So when I say turn on your webcam and give a big wave, because again, actually type in the chat right now. How much did y'all pay for this challenge? How much did y'all pay for this challenge? Everybody type it in the chat. Exactly. And he's coming here for free. You better stop playing. Give a big wave. Show your love and appreciation for Kent Cloninger! Yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? How you doing, man?
I like the glasses. Kind of got a fresh look right there. Okay, I see you. Starting a little bit.
I mean, this is what happens when you get old, man. You start going blind. Sorry.
Is that a salmon shirt too? Like a little salmon color?
Little salmon shirt with the glasses.
We showing some biceps. All right. So Kent's my guy. We're super close, and I thought it'd be fun to just have a conversation with Kent. I mean, we have business talks all the time. You guys may have seen Kent before. I see a couple people in the chat, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. So, Kent, the idea here is called 5, 6, 7 challenge. Because again, Kent and I have talked about this for maybe 30 seconds, and he said it'll come. But 5 days, 6-figure entrepreneurs, 7-figure transformation, right? So they're here, got the product or service, and kind of have clarity, generate a little bit of money, but still looking for that gasoline so they can ultimately experience profit and time and building something, with meaning and purpose. So for you, out of all of your businesses, what has been the single biggest thing to help people scale specifically?
What's the look? I can tell you the single biggest thing that's from my perspective for scaling businesses is, one, you have to understand the math, meaning like you literally have to understand what a lead is costing you, what is the revenue that lead is generating for you, et cetera. And the only reason why you want to understand that at the level that you do is because it allows you to double down, meaning like you cannot scale a business unless you can go acquire more customers, and you cannot afford to go acquire more customers unless you can do that profitably and do it where you're extracting as much revenue out of those customers as humanly possible, while also providing as much value for them. And so it all points back to, in the end, bro, is that you literally have to know how to advertise and market and acquire those customers effectively, and then ultimately to generate as much revenue from those customers in order to scale. Like, it doesn't do you anything good. Then it might serve as a pride project to go acquire customers and lose money, but I don't know anybody that's been able to scale a business doing that. So you want to be able to acquire as many customers as you can in a profitable way, meaning that, hey man, I know exactly what they're costing me. I know exactly what I can do to sell those customers and continue to bolt on businesses, bolt on opportunities, provide as much value, extract as much profit, and then go back and reinvest that back into acquiring more. And that cycle just continues to repeat and repeat and repeat until you're scaling up to where you're acquiring thousands and thousands of customers each and every year. And that is the foundation for scaling any business, period.
And listen, guys, you just heard 3 millionaires. There was zero prep between any of us before. Everyone is telling you the same thing. Know your math, advertising, marketing, every single person, same thing. And this is, you guys, probably the millionaires that you know and the people that have scaled up their business. It's the same thing. Now, Ken, I want to give you a chance to brag for a moment. I know it's not your style, but like, can you give us like one of the first companies that you were running? And I love this story, but one of the first companies that you're running, what was the size that you grew it to? And how old are you when all of it went down? Because it's pretty freaking insane.
Yeah, man, I started an arbitrage business when I was 17. So this was back in, I started this business in 1987. So this is clearly pre-internet.
Hey, Ken, you want to hear something fun about that? I wasn't alive.
Yeah. You can officially kiss my ass, okay? So I started that business when I was 17. And what we were doing back then, which is much easier to do today than it was back then, but we were effectively finding truckloads of groceries where the manufacturer was selling it in one market for a price versus other markets where they were not selling it for the same price. And meaning, Kraft mac and cheese, Kraft would be selling that product in Miami to all the local retailers and wholesalers for $40 a case, and they'd be selling it in Seattle, Washington for $120 a case. And we would go in and buy the truckload, and then turn around, put it on a truck, ship it up to Seattle, and I go pay one person $45, and I go sell it to the other retailer for $100. Both parties were winning. And by the time I was 23, the company was doing $50 million a year. By the time I was 28, it was doing $800 million a year. By the time I was 30, it was doing $1.8 billion a year, and it become the seventh.
Clap it up real quick, y'all. Clap it up real quick. This is, in case you're not hearing this. 30, and tell us about yourself. I think this is important, and I don't want to derail too much from scaling, but I do think there's a part that we need to talk about. And we've talked about it personally, but what kind of man were you when you were hitting that $1 billion? You know, how does that chapter end from that in the transition? There's a lot of things that happened there.
Well, look, man, I was, thank God social media wasn't around, because I would have 1000% been the guy that we all hate on social media, the guy flashing the money and all the nonsense out there, acting like I was a bigger deal than I was. I mean, I was in my 20s making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I feel extremely fortunate that by the time I was 30 years old, I walked out of that company, got in a spat with my two partners, walked out of there, and over the course of the next 2 years, lost millions of dollars to the point where I was basically down to nothing and had to effectively start over, and started over in the real estate space, and then built it all back. And when I built it all back, not only did I do it bigger and better than I'd ever done it before, but I did it in a much more mindful way, where I was not the guy that was willing to build a business at the expense of my family and friends and all that kind of stuff. I built it on purpose. I built it to serve me. I built it and scaled it what I would argue the right way.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. You know, money is a very seductive little thing there. You can easily get caught in the trap of chasing money.
Yeah.
And it becomes something that you idolize and you want to be all a part of. And look, everybody goes through it. Everybody starts as the hustler and wants to build something. Like, we've all been there. The reality of it is that if you do it right from the very beginning and you understand on purpose and in an intentional way what you're trying to do, I'm trying to build something that I can scale. I'm trying to build something that doesn't own me. I'm trying to build something that I can put people and leverage and automation in place.
Let me dive into that right there, Ken, because we talked about this over the last couple of days specifically. How specifically has the automation and advertising that you put in your business, how has it helped you win back time? Because we see on the money side, but how has it helped you win back your time?
Look, man, you see the sign behind me. The time is now. Time is everything to me, right? And so I'm not in this for the money. I'm in it for the time. I am constantly looking. I mean, I have one goal in my business, period, as the CEO of multiple companies. And that is to fire myself as often as I can. If I have to do anything, then that is a problem. I want the opportunity to do whatever the hell I can do whenever I want to do it. I want to get to do things. I don't want to have to do anything. And so that is what automation does. That's what advertising does. That's what systems does. That's what predictability does, right? A lot of people, I would think that probably the single biggest thing, the amazing thing we live in today, the time, is that we live in a time where not only from an information standpoint, but from an automation and tools and internet, and we have the actual ability to create predictable results. And when you can create predictable results and create a predictable income, then you get to do one thing: control time. Because I get the opportunity to sit back and say, I know what's going to happen if I do X, Y, or Z, whether I'm involved or not. I put the systems in place. I put the processes. I put the people. I put the leverage. So all I have to do is feed the machine, and the machine is going to spit out the same thing over and over and over again for me. That's when life gets good, because you get the opportunity to effectively control, collapse time, if you will, get results faster than you ever would get on your own.
Versus hustling for every customer and working and grinding people. Like that's not a lifestyle that anybody desires. You might get a little bit of money, but you're not going to get the freedom and the flexibility that you crave. And
people get caught up in it all the time, right? They confuse income with wealth. They confuse income with owning time. Wealth is when your money's making you money, when the systems and the opportunity, they're making you money whether you show up or not. That's what you're trying to go after. Earning a lot of money, but having to work your ass off to do it is not freedom.
What about your relationship with coaching? I know as a coach, and you coach a lot of people, etc. Like, I just want to put the number there. So here's a guy that's selling. At 30, they're already doing $1 billion plus in sales, right? Done multi-millions, doing it every single way. How much have you invested in the coaching? What are some of the checks that you've written to get access, to get information, like to get in the party?
The biggest check I've written and continue to write is $100,000 a year. I spend multiple six figures to this day as a part of masterminds and coaching, right? There's always somebody playing at a higher level than you. Like, so to my tribe, The guys, that follow me and work with me in my world, I'm the big dog. Now, if I want to be better, there's only one way for me to get better. Last time I checked, there's only one way to coast, and that's downhill. So I got to keep pedaling uphill. So I got to start looking up at people that are above me, playing at a higher level. And so working with, some of our friends, guys like Ed Milet and Jesse Itzler, and people that are playing at an extremely high level, billionaires. And it doesn't matter where you are. If you want the keys to the kingdom, you pay for access. You pay to collapse time. I have, let's be clear, I have zero, I 100% know that I will ultimately get the results, but I have zero intention of taking a lifetime to get there. I want to get the results now. Time matters. Last time I checked, every minute of every day, every hour of it is not promised to me. And those hours, those minutes, those days and weeks are all precious. So if I can buy any of those hours back, which that's all the investment in coaching is. That's exactly, or in masterminds. And you got to think about it like that. What I'm literally doing is I'm buying my time back. Do I want to go through 10,000 hours of work, blood, sweat, tears, brain damage to get there? Or would it make more sense for me to go invest 25, 30, 50 grand and get all those 10,000 hours? So 50 grand, 10,000, that's $5 an hour. Can I just pay 50 grand and get the results in, the next 6 months?
It's
then I get to spend the rest of my life doing what I want to do. And that's the way all this is positioned. That's the way to think about that.
It's amazing how many people want to grow and scale up, but their entertainment budget exceeds their education budget. Your Netflix subscriptions, your dinners out, nights out, etc., your outfits, like your entertainment budget is way more than your mentorship. It's amazing how many people you ask who want to grow, but then you say, how much have you spent on coaching the last 3 years? And they're like, I haven't. And then there's a big question mark. Ken, I'll be respectful of your time. I know you're busy, but I do want you, if you're okay with it, I want you to share, and this is about scaling, but it's more, and remember the very first day that we had this challenge, I told you the very first thing that you have to protect is you. And you had an incident on an airplane that kind of changed the way that you view time, which is kind of the asset we've been talking about today. Do you mind sharing that story? I think it's a good one to kind of close this section out with today.
Yeah, man, happily. Look, guys, I'm 52 years old, right? And I've been through a lot in my years in business and life, et cetera. As I mentioned to you guys, I kind of figured it out through my mid-30s and all the way up on the right way to do it. And as I just shared with you, look, it's on the wall behind me. It's tattooed on my arm. It is, I don't wear a fancy watch. I wear a little wristband that says the time is now. And funny thing is every time I look at my wrist, that bitch is right. And I'll tell you why that matters is because time is not promised. It is not promised to anybody here. And you may get seduced to sleep and you might, think that somehow tomorrow, next week, next month is promised, but I can assure you it is not. And I can tell you that about 10 years ago, I happened to be on an airplane with me and my young daughter, my wife at the time, and we were sitting in two separate parts of the plane because we bought our itineraries at different times. And at about 30,000 feet, somewhere over North Florida, we were leaving Atlanta, flying to our home in Florida. The plane completely filled with smoke. And when you are in an airplane like that, and all of a sudden the plane fills with smoke, you can imagine that's a pretty scary moment. And that moment, one of the stewardesses got on the mic and freaked out. I mean, you could just hear the fear and the panic in her voice. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, return to your stations, return to your stations. Oh my God. And when that's happening, that panic that's going on is very, very real. And within a couple seconds of that, they put the plane into a nosedive and took us from 30,000 feet to 13,000 feet in a little over a minute. And so you can hear the engines winding up. You can hear the buzzers going off. Wah, 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 wah. You can hear everybody screaming on the plane. Masks are dropping. And unfortunately, the only person I could hear screaming was my little 6-year-old daughter, who was 10 rows behind me, screaming for daddy. And I could not get to her. There was no way for me to get to my daughter, and I could hear her screaming for me. And when that happened, it was, let's just talk about it, it's making my hand shake. It was extremely, extremely real for me. So much so that I actually filmed a video right then, a selfie video to my son to let him know that I was thinking about him before we died. That's how real this was. And luckily, the captain came on and told us that we were apparently on fire, but we were making an emergency landing in Tampa Airport. And we diverted and we got on the ground, and, you know, everybody's hugging and screaming and, you know, high-fiving. And, you know, it was a very, very traumatic experience. They tried to corral us and get us back on the plane. And I was like, as maintenance was going to take a look at it and get us back, I was like, there's not a chance in hell.
I'm walking home. Yeah.
I will walk before I get back on that plane. So I rented a car and drove my ass to West Palm Beach, Florida. But in that drive, I can tell you that I had a profound moment of clarity, and that nothing is promised. And sitting around and acting like, you know, death is not inevitable for each and every one of us is reckless, foolish, and irresponsible. It is coming. Every one of us have the exact same disease. Nobody gets out alive. What you want to happen is the rest of your days, you want them to be the best. And you have a choice. And you can sit around and con yourself to believing like, oh, I'll just get to it when I get to it. And maybe next week or next month or whatever the case may be, you know, maybe that's a little too hard right now. Just understand that's a choice. Everybody here gets to decide what every one of those days looks like that you have left. And I can tell you from that day forward, I've made a very hardcore decision each and every day that every one of my days left on this planet will be the best. And I will not ever allow a moment, an opportunity to slip through my fingers. And I can tell you, it's made all the difference in everything. I'm a better father, I'm a better husband, I'm a better man, I'm a better leader, a better boss, all because I have a very healthy relationship with time, and I'm in a hurry to get to the good stuff. There is nothing noble to me about sitting around and wading through mediocrity for a few, you know, so I can save a few bucks. Absolutely, that will never happen. If I go to Disney, and, you know, I found out a few years ago, Disney had this VIP where they will personally walk you to the front of every single ride. I'm taking my kids there for an extra $2,500. You know, they'll have a host walk you to the front of every single line. I felt like somewhat of a douchebag every time I go to the front of the line. Somebody's been waiting there for 3 hours. But you know what? My kids got the best Disney experience they ever had because I'm not waiting in any damn line. I want to ride every ride when I go to Disney. I'm not there to ride 6 rides. I want to ride every one of them. And anytime you can pay to get to the front of the line, get there.
Guys, scale of 1 to 10. I want you to look at it. Ken, look at the chat. Scale of 1 to 10. How much fire did Ken just drop? Look at the number. I need you to see it, Ken. You just see it. Scale of 1 to 10. How much fucking fire? This is why I'm friends with the guy. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I'm friends with the guy. And this was so important to me because, I'm telling you, you guys have heard me say it before. My biggest mistakes in the beginning of business was my arrogance and ignorance. The arrogance to think I could figure it out by myself. The ignorance of everything I didn't know. The second I started changing my relationships, surrounding myself with guys like this, Vince, you know what I mean? Helping people grow like Mike, and becoming friends and learning from him too. Like, it almost feels like when you have guys like this surrounded by you, it almost feels like it's impossible to fail. And if I ever did fail, I would just ask Ken to borrow some money. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Ken. I appreciate you, man. Love you. Thanks for dropping in.
Brother. My pleasure. Take care, guys. Good luck.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Ken's a guy, you guys know, I never bring anybody on my stage who I don't 100% sign off on. And that man has taught me personally so much about business and life. And again, I mean, he was already making millions of dollars before I was even on the planet, you know? So that type of wisdom, that type of friendship that's my guy. And I'll be real with you guys. I'll actually ask you guys this in the chat. Every single person that you're seeing and all the other guests and stuff that you may have seen me before with, how do you guys think I met them? Every single person that you just saw, how do y'all think I met them? Take a guess. Take a guess. There's one word. 4 days and nobody's getting this damn word. Are you kidding me? You're talking about paid. No, it's advertising. Are you guys high? Yeah, I paid. Of course. What? It wasn't a trick question. Advertising. Advertising. Remember I told you I met Vince at TNC? First thing, hey, I saw your ads. Hey, I've seen your ads too. Mike, in the beginning, how to become a student? Hey, I saw your ad. I bought your course. Kent, we had peers. Bro, I've seen that guy's ads. I've seen his ads. You should have him speak on your stage. And then we connect. Ed Milet, hey, I've seen your ads. Do you want to come on my show to talk about it? The other guy, Jesse Itzler, that he mentioned, that was through friends of somebody else who saw me on ad and like met us up, etc. Literally, advertising is the cheat code. If you guys met my friend Jeff Sinelli, CEO of Which, $1 billion in sandwich sales, saw an advertisement. Every single one of you here are here today because you saw an advertisement. Growing brand, growing impact, growing relationships is all about getting known. I had a couple conversations with some of you yesterday, and I'm listening to you. And the amount of experience that you have, the products or services, the ideas, the visions you have. But the challenge is, you're your industry's best kept secret. How can you get paid when nobody knows about you? I asked you guys this yesterday. I'll ask you again today. If you're committed to making marketing, advertising, automation, all the things that we're talking about, the number one priority in your life, it's bigger than business. The number one priority in your life, put I'm committed in the chat right now. I want to see you put it. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed. Committed. It's the only way to get there, because you guys have heard the quote before. Everything you want is on the other side of what? Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Well, what if it doesn't work? And what if I don't do this? And da-da-da. What if I don't go talk to the girl? What if I don't go talk to the guy? What if I miss out on this? What if? Literally, fear is controlling your life. Beat it by betting on yourself. Obviously, I'm in a position right now where it does benefit me if you enroll into our certification. But just because that's true doesn't mean it doesn't benefit you. I'm going to ask you guys to let me help you. Give me 16 weeks. And like Vince said, yeah, it's going to be hard. We're going to work our butts off. 100%. You're going to go all in. It's going to feel uncomfortable because you're learning new things and you're going to be frustrated. And you're going to bang your head against the keyboard. And you're going to want to punch me at times. Billy, get off my back. I got this. But y'all tell me, will it be worth it? Yes or no? Will it be worth it? Yes or no? Yes or no, will it be worth it? You're going to hate me. You're going to be real mad at me. I don't like you, Billy, right now. You're going to be mad at my team for riding you. You're going to be upset with us for keeping you accountable. It's going to be uncomfortable meeting new people, but is it worth it? Abso-fucking-lutely. So if you're ready to bet on yourself, then please go to this domain beneath me right now. And all you need to do is put in a $250 deposit to have a conversation with our team to see if this is right. And I have blocked out in my calendar right now the next 3 hours to literally just get on the phone with y'all and chop it up. The investment is $10,000, but I just brought up people who have made billions of dollars, $1 million in sales. That's the type of return on investment they've seen in this skill set. What Kent doesn't realize is the first time I met Kent is because he targeted me with a Facebook ad about his real estate stuff 8 years ago. He's one of the first people that I saw online. He was advertising with the guy from Frank Kern, who was one of the first people that I paid thousands of dollars to learn from. I've told you before, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And what I will do right now, God, I already have a whole bunch of calls, but fuck it, we're gonna pile it in. What I will do right now is I will honor the same thing that I honored yesterday, which is anybody who gets enrolled today to rock with us and bets on themselves, I will personally call and give a strategy session to. I will call you. So once you get enrolled, we'll set it up, set a time. You and I are going to jam. That's what I do. This is how I help people. Me and Kent in the conference room, right to the left, we have had strategy sessions. Vince and I have had strategy sessions. Same. He's done it for me. I've done it for him. Mike and RC and I. Mike RC paid me, I don't even remember the amount. I'm guessing, I don't remember this. This is about 5-6 years ago. 20 grand to go to his office for the day to help them set up ads. Do you guys think it was a good investment from Mike RC, who you just saw up here, that's crushing it? This is 5-6 years ago, right? Still friends today, going courtside to games together. So that's what I will do. I will honor that right now. For anybody who gets signed to get a timer on board, get 10 minutes on the clock. Anybody who gets your deposit and gets enrolled, and remember, guys, we got payment options. We got payment options. So if you don't have the 10 grand to just pay up front, we got payment options to make it flexible, to make it easier for you. Because let me tell you, when I was investing in this stuff, you know what I didn't have? The cash up front. I didn't. That was my truth. That was my truth. Right there, domain, getbillycert.com. I will put a 10-minute timer on the clock right now. I will honor the same thing I did yesterday. And that is, hey, I'm going to call you. We're going to give you a strategy session. And really the purpose of that strategy session is so when you're rocking with us for the next 16 weeks and we're helping you create your marketing, your advertising, so you can get known, so you can get more sales, I'm going to kind of give you direction on what to focus on during those 16 weeks. The product or service you should be selling, you know, the way you should be selling it. We can talk price, etc. This is my whole world for a decade. This is all I do. Create ads to sell shit. I'm gasoline. If you already have the foundation, I am gasoline. My team is gasoline. We are here to just help you grow faster. As Kent said so beautifully, it's like, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait forever to get to where I want to go. I don't want to wait. You know, the people who invest into themselves are the people who just want to go fast. I buy coaching because I want to go fast. Period. Period. Last class, to give you guys perspective how much I'm still involved in growing myself, I just got off a sales call yesterday and we enrolled today. Daniel probably got the email, but I'm going to take an AR and VR class at the University of San Diego, the school I didn't graduate from. Guys, like $4 grand, I said, done. Yo, I don't know anything about virtual reality. It actually scares the shit out of me. I'm going back. I'm used to teaching. I'm going to come in. Hi, guys, my name's Billy. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm used to being the guy. I'm coming to do AR. Billy, why are you doing that? Because that's the future. Why did I learn Facebook ads? Because that's the future. So I want to learn from a development standpoint. And they told me, this is how the guy got me too. He's like, yeah, I just had a dentist who does all these things virtual now. And I was like, oh, shit. Imagine if we're all sitting here with headsets right now. I don't know how it works because I haven't learned the process. I'm too ignorant right now. Ignorant arrogance. I'm too ignorant right now. So I'm taking classes again at USD. Fearful, intimidated, and probably the dumbest guy in the room. Go figure. Probably with a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that are going to make me look real stupid. That's okay. I'm ready to grow. That's okay. I'm ready to grow. 9 minutes on the clock, y'all. Get your deposit and have a conversation with our team, right? It's time to commit. It's time to commit. With me, it's time to commit. I'm going to open this up for questions in a second. Let's go ahead and play the graduation video again, June 2nd. We have a big